Hello, my friends. I am Indie Pride, and Chaos stands divided. The cultists of Slaanesh, the worshippers of Tzeentch, the followers of Khorne, and the children of Nurgle are ready to battle to the death in a free-for-all here on Call of Warhammer, beginning of the end times. Slaanesh, she who thirsts, the chaos god of decadence and twist and pleasure, keeper of secrets on the field accompanied by Chosen, and of course the sensuous Daemonette Hellstriders, in my opinion the most terrifying cavalry unit in Call of Warhammer. 3 HP, insane agility and disengage potential, chosen knights and marauders of excess equipped with throwing axes, and some desolators on the field as well. Across from Slaaneshi Sexy Time, we have Tzeentch, the changer of ways, the chaos god of sorcery and evolution, marauder desolators up front as meat shields, and we have halberds, chosen knights bringing up the rear, very powerful cavalry for chaos, and of course, a Lord of Change. You know them well. Sartorial the Everwatcher from Total War Warhammer. And they are prolific spellcasters and terrifying in melee combat. Also have a range attack in this mod. Do quite a bit of damage from range. And we'll focus on Slaanesh and Tzeentch first because their battle will begin first. Marauders sprinting into melee combat, eager to please their respective gods. Lots of axe throwers on the field for both sides, actually. Those axes are going to do quite a bit of damage to Marauder Desolators who do not have a shield block chance, so they're going to be charging in now. And interestingly, not very many demons on the field for Tzeentch, no flamers or disc sorcerers that I can see. So they'll be missing that juicy morale penalty and awesome penetration that characterizes Tzeentch magic. A lot of these flamers and other Tzeentch units can really burn through an entire block of infantry extremely quickly because of that penetration. But it's possible the Tzeentch player, first class mint, didn't feel like he could protect them well from Slaaneshi Daemonettes. They are a problem when you're facing off against Slaanesh, but we'll talk about that more. Moving over to Nurgle, the Plague Father, creator of virulent diseases and utter corruption, looks over his children with love and care uncharacteristic of the other Chaos gods. Great Unclean One on the field, an extension of Nurgle himself. Greater Demon anchoring a line accompanied by Plaguebearers and Nurglings, and Chosen Knights of Decay. Those Nurglings are some of the best meat shields in Call of Warhammer. Incredibly cheap, actually have 2 HP, but really terrible melee stats as you would expect from little blobs of decay. Over on this side, we have the followers of Khorne. Khorne, the blood god, constantly growing in power in a world consumed by war. Bloodthirster up front, war incarnate, and an absolute monster in melee combat. Bloodletters, chaos warriors, and in the back, we have a little treat for you guys, the Bloodcrushers of Khorne, mechanical demon beasts that provide a powerful mounted force, and some Chaos Knights accompanying them. I am playing as the followers of Khorne in this one. Vodgo Jira is Nurgle, Madman Evil is playing Slaanesh, and First Class Mint playing as Tzeentch. Chaos lines have crashed together, and I don't think either faction has a distinct infantry advantage, although there are more chosen on the field for Tzeentch than there are for Slaanesh, but really, this battle is going to be won or lost on the backs of each player's cavalry force and their greater demons. If Slaaneshi cavalry overwhelms the flanks and gets free rear charges off into the Tzeentch player, this will be quick and brutal for the worshippers of Tzeentch, but Mint should be looking to avoid cavalry fights far away from his infantry support, because those Daemonettes will absolutely wreck Tzeentch Chosen Knights, and as you can see here, he has taken a cavalry engagement, and they are getting absolutely butchered by those Daemonettes. Lord of Change firing in, but if you can get that Lord of Change into a flanking position to unleash that Eldritch Fire into the flanks of the Slaaneshi army, he can cause some massive devastation. So we'll see how that goes and how he decides to handle his Lord of Change. Those Tzeentch Chosen going into melee now. Keeper of Secrets firing some of that magic into the middle of the melee engagement as well. Halberdiers from Slaanesh moving into melee and engaging. And now Keeper of Secrets is wading into the blob as well, eviscerating Chaos Warriors with every flick of that massive sword. Every single Chaos faction in this game, this free-for-all, has brought a greater demon, which is a beautiful sight indeed. Looks like Tzeentch has taken a cavalry engagement out here as well. Tzeentch Chosen engaging with some of those Daemonette Hellstriders, doing quite a bit of damage over there, but they have lost 10 models so far, so that is a bit of a win there for Tzeentch out on that flank, although he did lose, I believe, a skirmish cavalry unit for that trade. And now the Keeper of Secrets still in melee. Lord of Change still firing away in the back, and it looks like the Daemonette Hellstriders have completely wrapped up the cavalry engagement And while the Daemonettes are losing some of their units to that shot from Lord of Change, they are in a flanking position. And this is what characterizes Slaanesh. They are so fast, have a ton of multiple HP units. They can quickly surround you and cut you into little itty-bitty pieces. And that is what Madman Evil is doing now. He's playing Slaanesh very well at the moment, getting those flanking charges off. That's how you want to do it. Over on this side, I have chosen to engage Vad Gojira, my Marauders up front, engaging the Nurglings, trying to get those off the field. Don't want my bigger charge units like the Bloodletters to get their charge blocked by those Nurglings, so I want to get them off the field first. Bloodthirster charging into the Chosen Knights of Decay. I'm going to start cutting them to pieces with my axe on that Bloodthirster, and my Chaos Knights engaging as well. Should be a relatively even fight, and Gojira is also going to send in his Greater Demon, who's going to charge in and do tons of damage, and Tessin's just flopping everywhere. Love the model on that Greater Demon, which I think was taken from Dawn of War 2, because it looks exactly like that one, but I'm not 100% sure where they got that model from. But the Plaguebearers moving up the center now, about to engage some of my Chaos Warriors. We'll see how that goes. Plaguebearers have 4 HP. They are incredibly tanky, as you would expect from a Nurgle unit. They are very difficult to cut through. My Chaos Warriors are definitely not going to win that by themselves, but backed up by more, and backed up by my Bloodletters as well, I'll have a chance to win that engagement in the center. Over on this side, things are looking a little bit more dire, definitely surrounded, and he has Axe Warriors. I did not elect to bring any Axe Warriors, and he is shooting into a really good target there. The Chaos Warrior Halberds are a great target because they do not have a shield block chance. Shooting into the flank as well, so taking lots of damage. And now my Chaos Knights have engaged some of his Marauders and his Chaos Knights, and I have that Skull Crusher, or rather Blood Crusher general unit in the back looking for some opportunity. So I have a couple choices. I could go directly into this blob where my Chaos Knights are fighting, or I could go for the Skirmishers, and I'm going to elect to go for those Axe Throwers and try to take them off the field, because those armor-piercing weapons are going to do way too much damage to me if I continue to let them fire into my troops. This is a pretty cool engagement. The Bloodletters have engaged the Nurgle Chosen. Those guys have 2 HP, very tanky and survivable, but Bloodletters will definitely win in prolonged melee combat against them. So my idea is to break the center and maybe win the right flank, my right flank. I think I'm going to be losing the left flank, especially if I don't go for the Hammer and Anvil with my Bloodcrushers over on that side. Lord of Change, beautiful shot, cutting a swath of destruction through some of those Chaos Warrior Halberds for Slaanesh. Daemonettes in melee as well. That battle is definitely going in Slaanesh's favor right now, but we'll see how that progresses. Look at this. It's only been a couple of minutes, and every Cav unit over on that side just seems to be utterly demolished. The Greater Demon's doing tons of work over there. Did get one charge into the back of the Axe Marauder units, but I did not manage to send them running from the field, which is unfortunate, and the follow-up charge is going to be bad. I didn't pull them back far enough, so they're not going to get their full charge bonus off, not send those units flying, which is really the best way to get them off the field. I need to make sure they get their full charge bonus off. Didn't give them enough run-up time. And it's unfortunate because they're kind of going to wade into combat and start losing a bit of their HP, which I really don't want. I want to just utterly annihilate them off the charge, and I'm not doing that, so I definitely need to pull out again and cycle charge. Did break the center. Looks like I got rid of some of those Chosen, and we are now moving over to the right flank, and the Bloodthirster and the Greater Demon of Nurgle, the Great Unclean One, are going at it right now. Just swinging those arms back and forth, doing some damage to each other in a big old duel. See who wins that. I doubt either unit is going to go down anytime soon. Those Greater Demons are super tanky and survivable, as you would expect. They'll be on the field for a very long time. Still looking for those Hammer and Anvil targets with the Bloodcrushers in the back lines. It's really my saving grace right now, but Nurgle has pushed through on his right flank and utterly demolished my left flank. I just have this one Chaos Knight unit left pretty much over on this side, and I'm getting overwhelmed. And he has some Chaos Knights, more of them, in the back, who are going to try to get a rear charge off, and actually not going to get enough of one to really drop their lances and do the work in the back there. I'm going to drop one of those Chaos Knights, but just the fact that he has cavalry in my back lines is very scary. And he's won the cavalry battle. Really, this is my only free cav unit, the Skull Crusher, the Blood Crushers. It's the only free unit I have to do the Hammer and Anvils and turn the tide of battle in my favor. And Gojira's doing a good job of making sure that he doesn't get into those back lines and go for the really important targets. If he loses those Axe Throwers, yeah, that sucks, because they can do quite a bit of damage as the battle progresses. but it's not a huge deal. They're really cheap. They only cost 900, and we're playing on 50,000 gold crowns. So this is also problematic. The fact that I'm going to charge into them, and this is going to be a theme throughout the battle. I'm going to charge into the axe throwers, and they're still going to be able to throw their axes, which is very strange. I don't know if it's native to only the Skull Crushers and Blood Crusher units, but generally speaking, when you charge a ranged unit with cavalry, once you engage them, they will not shoot or throw their weapons whatsoever. They'll do their throwing motion, but they won't actually throw anything. And this is the second time I've charged in my Skull Crushers. Blood Crushers. I'm going to keep saying Skull Crushers. One of them, it's a Blood Crushers. It's the second time I've charged them in, and they've still thrown the axes and still done a ton of HP damage to my guys. As the Tzeentch General is going to go down over on this side, that might precipitate the falling of the entire Tzeentch army. Yeah, the Lord of Change is going to go down now too. Those are two massive blows to the Tzeentch army in quick succession. Keeper Secrets just standing there all chill and happy. Look what I did. I just killed another Greater Demon. So that is very, very bad for first class mint. And the worshippers of Tzeentch, they are getting utterly demolished over on this side. Daemonettes cutting those Tzeentch Chosen to pieces. Marauders wading into melee as well. But it looks like right now Slaanesh is going to win unless a miracle happens for Tzeentch. Things are a little bit closer over on this side. But I am losing at this point in the battle. My Skull Crushers, my Blood Crushers, god damn it, have taken a lot of damage in those engagements. The axes have done so much damage to me. And every time I wade into melee, they just keep getting crushed. So look at that. I'm only down to like 6 or 7 Blood Crushers in that unit now. Very problematic because it's a very important unit. Has 3 HP, super tanky. Does have a lot of kills right now, but I would have liked them to do better than they have so far. And now, Bloodletters in melee as well, cutting through these Chaos Warriors. I am going to win over on this side, although he does have some Chaos Knights of Decay in my back lines, and the Greater Demon, the Bloodthirster, hot on their tail, trying to make sure that they don't rout my units, because that's definitely a problem here. I could lose my army pretty soon here, especially if my general goes down. But the Bloodthirster is following those Chaos Knights, making sure they don't get a great rear charge off, and we'll see what we can do with them. So I am going to win over on this side, but Gojira has won his right flank tremendously. There's actually nothing left over on that side. He managed to get a nice hammer and anvil off with one of his Chaos Knight units over on that side, and the entire blob just disintegrated to that charge. Bloodcrushers charging out the center now, trying to get rid of some of these axes, and they are going to wade into combat here, and look, axes are still going to go flying. I swear, if it was any other cavalry unit, those axes would not be able to get thrown. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I've played this mod a lot. Generally speaking, if you manage to close into melee combat, ranged units are not able to use their ranged weapons. So I thought that was very weird, and it's hurt me a lot this battle. But Gojira is definitely playing very well with his cavalry. He's been a complete nuisance as my Bloodthirster takes down 3 or 4 of those Chaos Knights with one swing of that giant axe. And I am going to end up losing over on this side. The Greater Demon of Nurgle, Great Unclean One, doing work, just shredding through my Bloodletters. Very, very problematic, and there's really almost nothing left on the field for me. I've got a couple of Bloodletters, a couple of Chaos Warriors, a couple of Blood Crushers, and my Greater Demon, of course. But now, Slaanesh has cleaned up over on that side of the battle, and will be moving up, ready to engage Nurgle once Gojira finishes mopping me up. I am going to make one last heroic charge into the Chaos Warriors here. Big charge coming in from the Blood Crushers, going to rip through that formation, and my general is doing work right now. You can see him as the Chaos Warrior. He is a Skull Crusher. The rest of the unit is Blood Crushers, and they're going to be laying about with that axe, but it will not be enough to rout these units. The axe throwers are going to stay alive. Bloodletter is going to go down, and now, unfortunately, my gen will as well take a couple axes to the face, and he is down. Blood for the Blood God, not enough to sustain me or Khorne at the moment. My army's going to crumble, and I'm going to pull my Bloodthirster out of there. And he is going to go kill some Slaaneshi warriors, because Khorne hates Slaanesh with a bitter, bitter, deep passion. So he'll be going to kill some of those Slaaneshi warriors as the rest of my army gets cut to pieces by these Plaguebearers. The unrelenting, unyielding march of the Warriors of Decay. So Very well played to Gojira. He managed to overwhelm me in that engagement. It looks like he and Madman Evil playing as Slaanesh will be fighting it out as the final part of this battle. Bloodthirster going to charge in and lay about with that axe. Going to rip through some of those halberds. And we'll see what else I can go for in the backlines. I'm just trying to do as much damage as possible at this point. Kill some Chosen Knights casually, dismembering them for the Blood God. And let me know, what is your favorite Chaos God and favorite Demon unit and why? I'll be very interested to see what your opinions are on that. And also, there's a bit of news here while we see the Nurgle army and Slaanesh army move into position to engage. The Russian data mining leak that has so far correctly guessed the order of DLC for Total War Warhammer has said specifically that Game 3 of this trilogy will be all about Chaos Divided, much like we are seeing right now with factions added for each of the Chaos Gods that would presumably combine their demons and warriors of chaos into god-aligned rosters, which would be amazing. That's exactly what I want to see. I think the 8th edition Demons of Chaos army book would be kind of weird to translate to Total War Warhammer if demons were just their own separate faction with all of the units combined into one. I just personally think it would look really ugly and bad with like Plaguebearer infantry and Slaaneshi cavalry and Tzeentch sorcerers and all those different colors and very aesthetically different looking units all combined into one roster. I think that combining Warriors of Chaos and Demons together with God-aligned rosters like it is in this mod would be so much better in terms of uniformity and aesthetics and gameplay, honestly. Seeing a Bloodthirster leading Chaos Chosen, Khorne Chosen, and Khorne Berserkers and all those Khorne units into battle looks way better to me than combining all of the different demon units into a single roster. So I hopefully CA continues with that idea. We don't know for sure. Obviously, it's going to be 3 or 4 years until we see what they've got actually in planned, but hopefully that's what they do for Game 3 of the trilogy. It would be awesome if they did. And now we see the greater demon of Nurgle, the Great Unclean One, that absolute monster, that boiling, pustulated, filled intestine blob gross thing is going to engage the halberds of Slaanesh and take down some more, but finally gonna go down, and that is disastrous for Von Gojira and the Children of Nurgle. We'll see if he has enough to turn this battle in his favor. No idea what the HP is looking like on that Keeper of Secrets. It's one of my biggest gripes with the mod. Obviously, there's nothing they can do about how there's no HP system to see how much HP they have, but sometimes you just put so much effort into killing one of these monsters and you have no idea if you've even done any damage to it besides seeing if they are covered in blood or not, which isn't really a great way to determine how much of their HP is missing. So that can be kind of frustrating, but the Greater Demon of Nurgle is dead. Keeper of Secrets is the only Greater Demon still left on the field, which is a big advantage. And now the Plaguebearers are going to charge directly into the front line of halberds for Slaanesh. We'll see them go to work. Those halberds will hold the line for quite a while, but Plaguebearers with their 4 HP be able to spill some noxious fumes on the Slaanesh Chosen, be able to cut through some of them. But I would imagine they're going to get ground down here. Slaanesh does have the cavalry superiority at this point. I'm not sure there's any other cavalry units on the field for Nurgle, which is a massive problem. It means that pretty soon here, as soon as those Daemonettes, very few of them, but there's actually a more important, much bigger unit of Chosen Knights of Slaanesh that are also alive. You can see them right there. That means that they're going to have free reign to charge into the back of these Demons of Nurgle and these Halberds of Nurgle as well. So you can see, I think the Chosen Knights of Slaanesh are one of the best looking units in this mod. They have awesome looking mohawks and a really cool looking sword unit that's very different than what a lot of other units in the mod use. You can see the Keeper of Secrets firing that magic into the flank of the Plaguebearers, doing a little bit of damage, a little bit of friendly fire as well. Not sure it needs to be firing at this point. Could probably just commit into melee and that would be that. But those Chosen Knights going to get another devastating charge, backed up by the Marauder Desolators who are moving in from the other flank, completely surrounded those halberds. Even though they do have a bonus versus large versus cav, they will get slaughtered by the quick attack animations of these Slaanesh units. And at this point, Slaanesh has pretty much taken the field and cut everything to pieces. And true to my video where I talked about the top 5, or rather top 6 factions in Call of Warhammer, Slaanesh is going to take the field in this one. Tzeentch Chosen and the rest of these cav units proving too much for the remnants of the Nurgle army, who are going to get cut to pieces and shot to pieces. And there's one unit left of Nurglings in the back, and the Chosen Knights and Daemonettes are going to charge directly into them and completely slaughter them, and that will be the end of your battle. So very, very well played to Madman Evil. He is going to take the field. I do think Slaanesh is the best Chaos faction, but he definitely outplayed his opponents in this one. Thoroughly deserved the win. Very well played to him, and those Nurglings are going to die horrible, sad deaths while we fast forward it to the end here. So hope you guys enjoyed that Chaos Divided battle. You can see the kills divvied up here. Pretty even across all, actually. Slaanesh did win his engagement pretty handily, but Tzeentch and First Class Mint did end up getting a decent amount of kills in that engagement. I think that if he had committed his Lord of Change into melee, that could have maybe turned things in his favor. He kind of kept him in the back there, and even when he was getting shot by the Keeper of Secrets, he didn't really end up moving him very much, which was kind of strange. I don't know if he lost micro in the Lord of Change, or just thought he had to stay out of melee to do the damage, but you can shoot while you're in melee as well, so it's best to keep them in melee. I think they can just tank so much damage for you. You see my Bloodcrushers and my Bloodlitters did quite a bit of damage, both around 200 or 200 plus kills. Did quite a bit of damage there. Bloodthirster over 100. The rest of my units did alright, but good game to Gojira and the rest of the players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching Chaos Divided. See you next time.